Turkish community in Germany. A lot of Muslims. It's more of a Muslim nation than it is Filipino. Because they invited, had free, anybody could immigrate there.
That free responsibility.
It's the only place whenever they take a 15-minute break, they're going to drink a beer. Whenever they go to lunch, they're going to drink too.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they start working in the afternoon, they're pretty well soused. That's the reason everything ends at 5. And you got to be careful on the road.
Wow, sorry.
Hello. And people are awake?
Yep.
All right, work.
But Oktoberfest was a very big deal. And Oktoberfest is a very big deal. And one of the things I really like is that it's a much slower pace, social pace. Because, on the weekends we went and we walked, everybody walks everywhere. And so a lot of exercising. I would go on like two Volks marches a weekend. For every Volks march, you walk 3 miles and then there's a beer break. And you walk 2 or 3 more miles and there's another beer break. And so you just walk and you walk it off, and then they sell like rochen and pork steaks or some kind of bratwurst and rochen and beer, and then you go another 2 or 3 miles and you get another. And so you're just walking, but the whole family does it. So everybody is there. Everybody's going through, and you're visiting all the neighbors everywhere. It's everybody, and that's why they spend their weekend. But beer is just like water.
Hey, Simon. What's going on? How you doing, boss? Pretty good, pretty good.
No, I didn't have to call him.
Yeah, just talk with it. LG. Pretty steady. All right. Welcome to a new week.
Have you ever heard of Judas Smith? Judas Smith? Guy's a preacher on fire.
Okay, I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Okay, I just had to say it. Judas Smith.
Don't say it over there.
No, I just want them to look at it. Judas Smith.
Thank you.
Can we get over here so I can answer the phone?
No, the phones go to voicemail. Here's what we did. Week number.
Fourth week? All right.
End of the world. The end of the world. It is the last week of the quarter, which means it is week 13. It is a critical week. Most of you guys were here last week. Let me get some feedback from you, since I'm not in the room. Tell me about feedback from having Scott here last week.
Right.
What'd you get out of it?
Well, the main thing I got out of it, I felt he was very supportive of the team. They be there for us. He had some great ideas.
Can you give me one? One great idea.
One great idea. He was talking about how to take what to take with you,
Great.
specifically as material, which is the question I had, what would be the appropriate thing, so he gave us specifics on the 4 or 5 items the big green brochure and names of
That's
them.
okay.
Uh,
I don't know that they all have names. They all have a number.
yeah. they have
But if we
names.
started learning all those 5 and 6 digit code numbers, I'd still not know what you were talking about,
Right,
right? So I guess I could summarize as being, gave you a better idea how to be prepared.
right.
Is that a good way to
Right,
summarize
and,
that?
and having the
Okay.
quote.
Jeff, you're really, really new with the team and with Scott and all that. What's one thing that you got out of last week?
Go after low-hanging fruit. with 20
Low
people.
hanging fruit. That was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
with businesses with 20 or 20, or you can go after low-hanging fruit with 5
Yeah.
and not get as much.
It's a low hanging fruit. Okay, Christy, while you're doing that, what did you get out last week?
To just always listen, and you know the
Oh, it's very nice.
direction they're going in, and knowing that he's always behind it.
Okay, you're gonna do all that. Show that chicken. I'll explain that to you in just about 30 seconds. So, if you repeat that, because I was cut off. What'd you get out of it?
Just mainly always knowing that he's always behind us. Just,
He's always behind us.
yeah.
So you have a support team behind you.
I've probably called him 10 times since Monday,
You called him 10 times
Please.
since Monday.
and he always answers.
Okay, I'm still closing the door. You need the doors after that.
Oh,
I'm trying to
sorry.
avoid the hallway noises.
I closed every door but the right one.
Close every door but the right one? Was that what he taught you?
Yeah.
Close every door but the right one? You kind of said that though when you started talking about low hanging fruit, right?
Oh, that's true. You gotta open it up for us.
Got to open enough doors to find the right one. I think I have a couple of guests remote. Yes?
Hello?
I can't hear you.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay. I can see it right there. Joining us from a distance, we have Tracy Thomas. Are you in Durant or McKinney?
I'm driving through Sherman.
Are you in Durant or McKinney?
I'm on my way to McKinney.
On your way to McKinney. Well, thank you for joining us. Some of you have met Tracy, right? I know a few of you have met Tracy. And I don't see her on yet, but we're also waiting for our latest licensee, Tracy Thomas, who's in Arch City, Kansas. Joining us. Boy, are we spreading out, right? Thank you to the new technology, right? So the meeting is being recorded and broadcast for their purposes. They can get all that. So, last week was recording too. Did you know that?
I tried to get on, but
How to get on to rewatch it?
Yeah.
It's on my YouTube account. Makes it really, really easy. You can go to my YouTube account. It's pretty easy to find me on YouTube. And you can find it by meeting and then it'll be by meeting name. So if you want to go back and revisit some of the conversation that we had with Scott from last week, you can find that on my YouTube account. So the purpose of us recording those are internally, obviously. But we did cover some good stuff. Make sense? Let's talk about the results of last week. What did we get out of last week? Jeff, how were your appointment settings last week?
I set 3 while we were here,
Yeah.
and then had 2 others throughout the week. So.
So you had 5 appointments last week. Good job. You also made some money off of me last week, didn't you?
Yeah,
How much money did you make off of me last week?
$40.
Paid for gas, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. Christy, how was your week?
Busy. Good.
What were your results? I want to talk about results.
I had enrollment. I enrolled. I wound up paying about $7,000.
We had $7,000 in sales made by Christy doing some enrolling last week. Okay. What else?
I got a bunch of contacts Monday when we called. So a bunch of things to sort.
Setting appointments?
I set one.
You only set one appointment?
I only set one appointment.
Golly.
But
But what else did you do?
while I was doing enrollment, we went and did a lot of drops. And while I was doing enrollment, I stopped by another place.
How many decision makers did you talk to without setting appointments?
Without setting appointments?
Because most of those you didn't set appointments with. How many?
On a phone call?
No, just throughout the week. Total decision makers. How many did you talk to?
Oh, without setting appointments, about
12 decision makers.
about 15
15. Okay. And what was the result of that?
I got to get signed. I talked to 5 in one day, face to face, had 5 p.m. appointments, and got 2 sets of pictures
2 new accounts. And they're enrolling when?
this week.
This week. Was that low-hanging fruit?
Very low, because they were all right around. Yeah, I wanted to be more places, but I didn't have time that day, because I was enrolling too.
So one of those is another small tribe, correct? How many employees? 60? Oh, 16. Yeah, I wish it was 2. 1-6, okay, and the other one?
And the other one is 70.
Carpet cleaning, right?
Carpet cleaning.
Both this week.
Yeah, and the only reason I called her, I called on TV every day. So I called her at 2:45, and she said, "Yeah, you can come by sometime." I was like, "How about 3:30?" She said, "That's fine." I went over there at 3:30, and she said, "Responded 30 minutes this morning."
Ready to go. Who's your week? I got you. How was your week?
You know exactly how much. Well,
This is
I
time
had
for all of
to-
us to share.
Yeah, I know. I had that appointment. I messed up my first appointment for last week. The rest of the week fell apart. And I'm recovering now. All in my office.
Gotcha.
So I made some calls, rescheduled an appointment for this.
Hey, Tracy.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I was going to ask if you could mute your phone because we're getting a ton of feedback listening to you drive.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I can figure out how, yes.
Okay, thank you. Unmute when you want to talk to us.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. She's trying to listen in. She'll be up here tomorrow morning. We actually have a very large deal that she and I are working on that she stumbled upon in her prospecting as well. It's definitely not searching the low-hanging fruit, but it ended up being so. If we can pull this off, it'll probably be somewhere around 3,000 employees. And they're in trouble. So, Angela, you brought a guest, and I need to kind of personally introduce, but why don't
I
you?
did. I'd like everyone to meet Jeff Booker. He's a friend, almost family, because he knows my brother, he knows him, and he came to me a while back and said he was looking at getting back into the insurance industry. He's been licensed before.
Okay.
Was looking to change his career focus. And so in our discussions, I talked about Colonial. I thought he was a good fit because he's a stranger. He's been working
You
with
two must
other
know each
business
other then.
owners.
Because Christy doesn't know a stranger either. She don't know a single stranger.
So from that standpoint, we've been working with business owners. So it's been like a natural and team.
Okay.
He's very much a team player.
Good.
With his sports background. Right. So
Okay. Very good.
you gotta check it out.
Good. Check us out. So I'm on
You're-
stage today,
You're
huh?
on stage.
I'm
You're
on
in front of
stage
your
today.
everything I said you were.
Been a long time, friend. How are you? Good to see you again. Welcome to have you back. How are you?
Incredible.
Incredible. That's a great answer, isn't it? Great answer. So Jeff, I'd like for you to speak for yourself, if you would.
Oh, I don't mind.
A little bit about yourself, what your background is like, just a little bit of insurance, what have you done in the past?
Most of my background has been sports. Blessed enough to play a couple years of minor league football. I myself been with Dallas. I know Jim Barrett's dad at one point.
Okay.
That was a blessing. Currently employed by Best Buy,
Okay.
so I direct traffic all day.
Yeah.
I meet business owners. I meet just regular movie shoppers.
Right.
Consider myself a people person. You know, I'm not going to attack you with my personality, but, you know, if you want to talk and listen and share stories. But the way Best Buy's set up, it's a team environment. Great company. I just feel like at this point in my life, it's time to go back to doing insurance.
Okay.
Stipulation on that is, I've been asked to do car sales before, different sales. It's good to do sales when you benefit the customer. At my store, I've worked all over the store. I was trying to get a career there. So with that, let's be honest, not everybody needs tea.
Correct.
You know, I love my company. I'm not going to speak bad of it, but I kind of changed my focus. I took myself off the floor, so I'm pretty much a sales guy, and I watch the store and watch our inventory, right? Because I got uncomfortable with some of the sales report. They also disposable. Can't push credit cards.
All right.
Okay. So at that point now, I'm just looking for a career path.
Okay. Well, you learn a little bit about who we are, and then when we get done, we can spend a little bit of time. I think today will be a little bit shorter, and I'll tell you the reason being is it is the 13th week. So I didn't do a big fanciful PowerPoint presentation and run through all the numbers, because we've been talking about numbers for the last couple of weeks, correct? So where do you think we are based on what you know? You know, because you and I talk about almost every single day, every hour of every day, just about. And where do you think we are with relation to what we have in the way of a goal, what we need to accomplish? You think we're way behind? If you're going to throw a number at it, what do you think we need to try and accomplish? If you're going to throw a number at it, I'm just curious. 50 to 60,000. Jeff, you've been to 2 of my meetings now. Pretty sharp guy. You pay attention to some of those details. What do you think?
I've been to 1 meeting.
Well, you've been to. I could be wrong.
Trial one.
You went to a trial one, and then you came in last week and participated. So this actually will be your third.
Okay.
Second as a team member, third in attendance.
I think it's.
So now you're telling me you didn't pay attention the first
I
time.
think she's pretty close.
She's pretty close.
30, 40,000.
Okay. I got 50 to 60, I got 30 to 40. Christy, where are we?
Like 25, 24?
Our
Or
absolute,
well, that's the absolute,
the absolute minimum what we have to hit to meet the goal that
not what we wanted to do.
that I am
I was
contracted
going
with.
for what we wanted to
Yeah.
know.
And you were right on.
Which was the 70.
You were right on.
Yeah,
We needed to complete another $28,000 this week.
right, just for bare, like.
Okay.
This
to
week.
make a plan, I think.
Okay.
To make the plan, to make the bare minimum that Tony said this office should be doing. We need to do a $28,000 a week. And we did about $7,000 a week last week. We did about $7,000 a week the week before that. And I don't even know before that.
You take out like.
Okay, I need to be 3,000, not 300, but that's okay.
One person.
One person, which is okay. I mean, we'll take every bit that we can get. When we set out and have some minimum standards as goals, those have to be non-forgiving, non-changing. You know, when you get into and accept a contract in a management role like Christy and myself have with Colonial, we make an agreement that we're gonna achieve a minimum level within a sales environment, and that's part of our contract. So my contract says I still need another 28,000. That's it. And we turned that around, and Scott said, hey, you know, some of the other people are really not upholding their end of the bargain, so could you do maybe an additional 30,000 to that? So if I threw that in, then the number is 58,000 this week. And you know what? You were right on. And thank you for doing that, because that's what we wanted to throw off. But to be honest, the 28 is really kind of that deadlock. And we really do need to pull that off this week. So with that being the case, I'm going to actually call on you here in a second because of your background. Have you ever heard the term, Jeff, and I'm picking on you in person, other than the conversation we had this week, the comment of playing to win versus playing not to lose? Because you and I talked about that the other day. But besides that, have you ever heard that before?
Not really.
Not really. Who?
Yeah, I give her a call. Okay, I've never.
Didn't she say who's Billy? She knows where she's at. She's good, I promise. I understand.
Your mom.
Yes, there is. And I'm a dad, trust me. Seriously.
Me, that's safe.
Not always. Okay. Have you ever heard the term devil? Playing to win versus playing not to lose. Christy and I asked Christy that, and she said yes, and we'll talk about how she relates to that here in just a minute. Have you ever heard the term? Playing to win versus playing not to lose. She said great. Yes. All right, so I gotta ask the sports guy. Playing to win versus playing not to lose?
There are several different sayings just like that. Play to win versus play not to lose. It's basically do what you know how to do, get aggressive, not tentative. If you're tentative, and make more mistakes, don't be aggressive about it.
I love that. Don't be tentative because you tend to make more mistakes. I like the fact that Jeff's writing that down because that's actually a very important statement. You think that applies in sports? Absolutely. My son plays football, plays track. I was a football guy myself. If I'm playing not to lose, I'm playing it safe. I'm playing, very, very cautiously. Working. Well, actually, when you play not to lose, it's a lot more defense than it is offense. You're much more focused on your defensive game than you're on your offense. Christy, because I know you love to talk, I'm going to keep the story short. Christy was sharing with me, I'm messing with her today. She was relaying playing pool because she, you don't know, she's a pool shark. Don't ever go play with her. Tournaments, plays league, plays a lot. But when you're shooting pool and you're playing not to lose and you're playing on where am I going to leave them at, how am I going to make sure the shot's harder for the next person, versus if you're playing to win, you're trying to knock in all that you need to knock in. Not that you're not concerned about what your leave is if you should miss, but you're more concerned about getting your shot made. Does that make sense?
If you don't have a shot, you play not to.
If you don't have a shot, you play not to lose. Right?
You play
But I'll
the
tell you
ball
this.
where it's not where you think they are not going to.
I'll
have
tell
a
you
shot.
this. Anybody that is very sophisticated at that game will tell you, you always have a shot. Would you agree? You always.
Do it.
But you always have a
There's
shot.
always a shot.
There's always a shot. So if I can piggyback that off of what we were talking about with Scott and talking about the low-hanging fruit and the fact that we have some goals in front of us, we have a shot. If we really strategize on how we put this week together, we have a shot at really doing $58,000. I can show you every single week the reports that come through nationally and how there's groups just like ours that do $110,000 in the week. Those of you that have the enrolling experience, how hectic do you think it is to enroll $110,000 in a single week? Very hectic, isn't it? And you don't have the enrolling experience on our side, but I'll tell you, it's really hectic because we do things in a one-on-one environment. How many one-on-one conversations does it take when you average $500 in premium an employee to do $110,000? So if that's the case, and that's the position that we're in, and that's the tasks that we have before us, and obviously it makes sense why 4 weeks ago I was almost in drop dead panic about what we had to do at 60, 70,000 4 weeks ago because I did not want to get to this and really go, okay, game on. It's 4th and 26, and it's Hail Mary time because punting isn't an option, right? But man, there's some amazing games to watch where they pull it off in the end. You probably played them, right? And how exciting and how thrilling it is. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to be exciting, but I'm much more excited about the accomplishment of achieving the goal that we need to achieve than about what it does financially for everyone. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a nice little reward for all the hard work that's going to go in. But if we're going to pull that off, here's what we need to do. Win. Today. Because we can't pull it off if it happens on Thursday or Friday. And don't get me wrong. I got until about 5 o'clock on Friday to turn the business in for it to account. And at 4:30, I'm going to be sweating the bullets, paying attention to what's going on, unless by Wednesday we've accomplished the goal. I can breathe a little bit easier. But it's going to be one heck of a hectic week. Right? So you've got 2 cases that have to enroll this week, correct? What would be the third? How'd it go? Remember when I had her call you 1 or 2 weeks ago and go, we really are gonna need some help? Yeah, we really need some. Because I can't pull her out of the field to go enroll when I need her to close cases for self. Help this gentleman close his case. Because he's not running on trying to close some cases, but brand new to our mentorship. You remember what it was like when you had your first appointment and said, oh, holy crap, Steve, you promised me you're going with me.
Yeah.
Right? You remember that feeling? Okay, so just kind of in the same boat. Oh, holy crap, please don't make me do this by myself.
I did.
I wasn't that bad.
No, I did.
She really did. Now, first of all, we had to drive an hour and a half out to Seminole when we get there. I was at least an hour and a half. Her very first appointment, she's calling and she goes, oh my God, this is going to be so bad. First of all, it's my 30th employee. Oh my God, this is going to be so terrible. I'm like, why? She goes, I've already thrown up 3 times. Truly. She was a nervous wreck. You did get the group, too. She was a nervous wreck. So all you can do is relax. All we're doing is talking to people, something I know you can do very, very well. Right? We know you can talk. Right? I know you can talk. That's why you're here. If you couldn't have talked to me, I wouldn't want you a part of the team. You gotta work on what you say. How you say it, when we stop. It's one of the most important things that Scott really didn't cover very much on when we were talking yesterday or through last week. Now, excuse me, many of you have been given opportunity to hear a CD. Actually, some of you in this room participated in creating that CD. Well, we were talking about going through a discovery presentation, right? One of the things I had a conversation with a gentleman. Actually, all the DJs had a conversation with a gentleman by the name of Steve Polk. Now, if you'll go onto the Colonial Life website, you can, in the search through the Colonial Life trainings, look up Mr. Polk and his videos that were submitted around 2010. I'm going to give you the short version of his story, and I'm going to tell you what he inputted into me and what he's going to continue to put into our mentality and what we're thinking of and what he had to share. In 2009, April 2009, he came to Colonial Life with 0 insurance experience. I mean, just got a license and decided to get into insurance. Prior to that, he came from the car business. Managed a car dealership that was averaging 70 to 80 new car sales on a monthly basis. By the time he left, they were averaging 500 to 600. They understood sales, but didn't know a thing about insurance. In his first 9 months as a DGA in our company, he did, I'm going to go by memory so I could be off on this, but I believe it was 1.3 million and about 146 brand new cases in 9 months. How do you do that? He recruited a whole bunch of licensed, experienced benefits counselors and producers that knew how to go out and had years of experience, and that's how he built it? Nope. Everybody was brand new, including himself. They understood the Colonial Life systems, and we had great training, and we'd show you exactly what to say and what not to say, and then we had systems and things that had to be in place in order to accomplish those tasks. In 2010, it was his first full year, full 4 quarters, of business in 2010. In 2010, they did $1.9 million in business and 240 some odd cases. And what's important to understand in these, a lot of times when we hear these numbers, we think, oh, he landed the big case, right? Hundreds of employees and the employer's paying for part of the products, which is not true. His largest case in 2010 was about a $110,000 case, and it was for Carroll Shelby and all of his business with the Shelby Mustangs and all that. But it was only $110,000. If you took that out, his average case was about $12,000 a case. Average case has always been around $12,000 a case. Now, the company average, and you guys have heard me say this before, is about what? Remember? About $6,000 a case. Why do you think the company average is so low compared to what Steve was doing?
What they believe they can do.
Sorry, this is Scott calling in the middle of my meeting. Yes, sir. I'm right in the middle of a meeting. What's going on? Oh, well, I figured you were calling to join the meeting or something. Yeah. What email did you set up for your Google Plus, and I'll let you join us. Okay, let me go type that into the system and I'll add it to the deal. Alright, bye. Sorry about that. Now, it's not as calling out my email address, you had to change it. And it looks like I'm staring at Tracy's steering wheel. I don't know why.
You set the phone up and so I check on something. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that is gone. For some reason, the speaker has changed. It's not coming through the speakerphone, so I'll have to work on those settings later. Why do you think the differences on the national side of accounts is much lower than what you saw Steve Polk do? Any ideas?
I'm there, but I guess there would be is sticking to the game plan, the plan, and its aggressiveness.
I'll tell you this, and I think Scott shared it last week, but I'll definitely share this to you. And if you look at the size of the accounts that we've been in direct accounts lately, it is the much smaller low-hanging fruit and the focusing on the 5 to 10s. The average case size right now is 13 lives. And if you've never heard my definition of average, I will certainly share my definition of average with you, and that is the best of the worst and the worst of the best. To be average means you're the best of the worst. If I took all the worst category, you're the best one in that worst. If I took all the best, you're the worst one in that category. That's what it means to be average.
Yeah.
I don't like being average. You guys have been in my mains. You've watched me put up who our peers are. I have 11 in between Oklahoma and Kansas. We have a territory manager who, those were here last week, heard that he fully supports us as a team. When I've shared my vision of what I think Oklahoma City should be, we should be doing $3 million in business through this. Because we have the entire state at our hands. You also heard him say last week, as of January, the state of Oklahoma had one active agency sales rep, ASR, contracts that you're on, actively working to open accounts. Do you know who that was? That was Christy. The only one in the state of Oklahoma. The one person who, nothing against all you weren't here, but the one person that I had with me who understood it, who got it, wasn't afraid of the hard work, and stayed after it, made sure that she was chasing the phone calls that needed to be made to set the appointments, and understood how to convert those appointments into business. So much so that in the month of March, she was the #1 in the nation. There's 13,000 active contracts with Colonial Life in 50 states. #1 sitting here in the old Podunk, Oklahoma. Right? As I go around the nation, and I did it as I traveled as a business consultant, they look at Oklahoma as just this Podunk. Well, it's in Oklahoma, right? You thought the same thing when you came out here, Miss Chicago, right? Cowboys and Indians, right? Yeah, I got #1 in the nation sitting in my office with the exact same potential to do the same things that people like Steve Polk did. Around 1.9 million. I forget the exact number, but I think from the first quarter of 2011, or actually up until April of 2011, they had written 110 accounts and about 1.1 million. In a quarter. Guys, I'm trying to reach a total of just under 100,000 for the course. They did 1 million, 10 times that amount. They're doing about, on average, 10 welcome calls a week. Last week I got 2 out of this office. Now, I'm not telling you these things because I'm disappointed in the results, because I'm not, because we're making headway. Many of you are brand new to what we're doing. But I am building a team of people who want to work in this office, who want to help others, right? That's part of our vision and mission. The whole reason we do what we do is because we're in the business of helping other people, right? It's kind of going along with what you were looking to do. I don't worry about the income that comes into our pockets as much as I worry about, do I have the ability to give somebody the opportunity to have the protection that them and their family members need? Again, I keep using Christy as an example only because she's been with me the longest, but I think it was kind of funny, but it was kind of serious in the mentality that she has. So back in, was it March? was around March or April when that airline went disappearing over the ocean that they've never found. She's laughing because she said her first thought, literally she tells me this on the phone, her first thought, she said, I wonder how many of the passengers had a Colonial Life accent policy.
I know, well,
But that was a true thought.
But I prefaced that with like, I'm completely enough with this because this is what I first thought.
First thought was like, God, I wonder how many of those passengers had an accent policy because, you know,
It quadruples.
it quadruples the amount that they get on a life insurance because it was in a common carrier. Holy cow. That's when I knew she really had it. That's when I knew she really got it. You laugh, but it's true. You know, Jeff, when we were talking the other day, when I go and talk with a business owner, and you know, you've heard this objection as well, and you go and talk to them and they say, well, you know, let me go ahead and ask my employees. I can walk around the room and ask people, hey, you want to buy some more insurance? If I ask enough people, hey, you want to buy some more insurance, eventually somebody can tell me yes. Right? But that's not what we're after. This is Mr. Business Owner. Obviously, you see some value in what I have to bring to the table. Otherwise, you wouldn't even take the time to go and ask your employees. So that tells me one of two things. You're either giving me the brush-off answer, because you really aren't interested, and by telling me that, you're trying to give me a real soft, nice no. Or two, if you really are concerned about your employees and see if they have any interest, then let me handle the electronic polling of that. Because I'm not here to try and sell your employees. How many of you guys have heard, I don't know that they're going to be interested in buying anything.
No.
I'm not interested in them buying anything. Mr. Business Owner, what I'm asking for is the opportunity to come out and educate your employees on the benefits and what they may do to help them and their family members. If they have any interest, the other thing I'm going to ask you to do is to go ahead and payroll deduct that. Do you have any objections to that? If they say no, I have no objections to that, it's time to pull out the paperwork and let's go. So when I play to win, I can't be afraid of asking the really, really, really tough questions too. Or putting a business owner on the spot. Or when they give you a no, it doesn't mean your meeting's over. Then when you first started, didn't I not have you read the Go for No book?
Mm-hmm.
So if you read Go for No, how many no's should you get before you get a yes? Yeah. So I'm in a decision-making presentation. Now, obviously, sometimes you get lucky and you talk to them and they're like, oh, you're exactly what I was looking for, which is great. So if I go back to the meeting from last week, what should you do at that point? One, you need to pull out the paperwork, right? What else should you do?
Go for the no.
Right. Keep asking your questions until you get a no for something, right? Mr. Employer, do you have any objections to maybe contributing $20 to $25 a month towards these benefits to help your employees out? No. Okay, well, I got my no, but paperwork stuff. Oh, you know, maybe I ought to do that. Maybe I ought to contribute a little bit towards those benefits. Because we've done that. Nothing says I can't. It's also a way to get your average sale up from $6,000 to $12,000. Nothing like going out on an enrollment and turning it around halfway through and the employer going, you know, we were supposed to already be giving our employees $15 a month, but you haven't been doing that. Do you think you could fix the system and go back and do that again? So an enrollment that was at about 3,000 became 7. This employer said, I'm paying $15 a month. That makes a big difference. Just because an employer tells you no, your job isn't done. Until they say, you know what, there's the door, I think you need to leave, I'm not done. It's kind of the mentality that we have to have this week if we're going to try and accomplish these goals. And it's really what I had to discuss about today was, look, there's a big goal. If you stay here and preach to you all day long, I could try and give you 1,000 different things that we need to do, and I ain't going to do it. This week is all about hard work, tenacity, and getting some appointments in front of us. So last week, how long did you spend actually dialing numbers to get those 3 appointments? Do you remember?
3 hours.
Not even.
Not even.
I kept track of it. Remember, the timer was on the wall. 2.5 hours, 3 appointments. 2 of them were in the second hour, 1 was in the first hour. You know what else I observed? I'm sorry, I'm picking on you just a little bit. It took me a little while in the first hour to get you up and running. That was actually everybody. First 20 minutes, nobody really did anything. We were spending all of our time looking through the lists, trying to figure out what was in front of us. I'm just spending some time just dialing the numbers. All I need is a name and a number, and I want to have a conversation with somebody. All the rest of the information I can get off the telephone call with them. As long as I have a number and I know I need to talk to Frank, Joe, Harry, whoever it may be, are you a decision maker? Can I tell you what I'm all about? What, 5-10 minutes of your time? How about Tuesday morning or Thursday afternoon? Which one works better for you and your calendar? I don't know, I'm really busy. You know what? I'm really busy too. I'm in my busy season. I get it. How about we start early in the morning and bring you a cup of coffee? I'd rather get you while you're fresh anyways. Right? Because all they said when they were busy was, they just gave me a no. But get them to tell you no 6 times. Or at least let them hang up the phone, honey, and go on to the next one. I don't get it.
No, I already know what to call it back place.
Oh, yeah.
Yelling at me,
I remember that.
I am not.
All right. But that's okay. Did I get upset about it? No, I thought it was great. I thought it was
You're
awesome.
enough to call back.
Fantastic. You know what? I tell you what. I'm going to come and you can shove me out the door next time. I'm going to come show up. Think I'm rude on the phone? Wait until you come see me in person. Right? What's crazy is if you had done that, you probably would have sold her. That's when I go show up. I go show
Show
up.
up with a cup of
I
coffee.
think we had a
I
bad,
promise you, I'll look to you face to face.
Show up with a cup of
This
coffee and
is
be like,
not
I
bad.
promise you, I didn't.
I think we had a bad connection. Here's a cup of coffee, and here's what we're doing.
Here's a donut.
Yeah.
Here's a donut and a cup
Here's
of
what
coffee.
you need.
Okay, so, Jeff, you had kind of an interesting start to the week, a roller coaster ride of a week, didn't finish the week the way you wanted to. What will you do differently today? Not this week. What are you going to do differently today?
Differently.
Sure. You don't know yet. Okay, Christy, what will you do differently? Other than the fact that you're working on 3 master apps, I'm just curious. What will you do differently?
I am going to, as many calls as I made, I still need to make more.
3 master apps or new accounts that you're setting up, how many have an employer paying for anything?
Actually, just one.
Who is?
Well, no, none of them.
None of them.
None of them.
Maybe you'll get somebody to pay for one this week? Maybe somebody will pay for something this week? Okay. $15 a month makes a big difference.
Yeah,
$7.50 a week buys one of our policies. Okay. Angela? What will you do differently this week? Because if you
Lock
didn't,
my door.
if you didn't get the results you wanted last week,
Right.
obviously
I gotta
you need to do
I gotta
something
make-
differently this week in order to get different results. Otherwise,
I
Einstein's
gotta
definition of
my
insanity,
time
right?
And lock the door, make a phone call, and get out.
all right,
Not
let's
show
go.
up.
Where are we going? Let's go. Right?
Bye-bye.
Cafe 7. You don't get any work done when you go to Cafe 7. And you know that as well as I know that.
They don't have Wi-Fi.
But do you know why they don't? Bingo. They got a problem with too many people coming.
Without Wi-Fi.
So you can go to Starbucks if you want the Wi-Fi.
Panera.
Or Panera.
It's just something.
It's just mobile office.
That's my office.
No, this is your office now. Okay. Anything differently? Not yet? Ain't come to you yet? No, we're gonna have to take him to the coat closet. He'll come out and say, please let me do something differently. Just kidding. Tracy, anything to add from McKinney, Texas, if you're still down there? I look like I'm still standing there.
I'm finally in McKinney. I've been listening.
Anything different? Are you doing anything different this week?
Do more. Do a lot more.
Okay. Thank you. I'll see you in the morning,
Still
yes?
make up for in numbers. Jim Rohn.
You what now?
What you lack, still make up for.
Okay, good. That'll work. Like I said, I'm not gonna spend a tremendous amount of time beating you up today. We've got a huge focus. They need to be very diligent. We need to roll forward. If you're normally doing 5 appointments a week, then this week should be 10. And those 10 should be set no later than when? Tomorrow.
We need appointments tomorrow, so we can get it set up, get paperwork.
Well, so if I do 5 appointments today, it means I got appointments to go on tomorrow to close. Yes? Doesn't mean I need you to not be dedicated to enrolling.
I swear.
It's good money. When
Yeah.
you roll 7,000 in a day, you know that's good money. Right? Okay, so that's all I've got for today. This is what happens next week. It's a brand new quarter and the game starts all over again. Guess what else happens? The targets are even bigger.
Like, you're making big promises, we'll not be doing this in the next quarter.
Yeah, we said the same thing last quarter. The nice thing is we exceeded our goal last quarter by 127% or something like that. So can we do that again? So in order to do that next quarter, it's going to be about $250,000. That's a great question.
And,
Mia is MIA. Really? Really? Okay.
At the end is next week.
Said what? Who's Terry?
oh, that's somebody that she knew. I heard those two talking about it last week. Somebody she
As far as business?
Somebody rolling.
Oh, I agree. Alright, well, I'd say we'll address that next week. We got bigger fish to fry right now. Or she can let Mark know because that's her minute. Not you. 21014. Okay? Self-link today. I'll hang the envelopes back up on the wall. Gonna get paid for appointments again? Is that good incentive? Jeff's saying yes because he got $40 last week for setting some appointments. So yes, you're in.
I would like for, yes.
Yeah, we'll spend a few minutes. It's good. It's good. Good. Salt Lake will officially start at 1 o'clock, but you can start calling anytime you want. I'll
I'm
never
letting
say
my phone charge in the truck. It's down to 50%.
you can charge it in here.
So I can't,
Why not?
I don't have that little cord to charge.
We probably did.
The iPhone
4 or 5.
5.
I have 5. But I use.
No charge faster here than it will.
We're good. We got you covered. There you go.
Where it's at.
That's where it's at. It's all right here is where it's at. Okay. Time to go to work. Let's have a $30,000 week at bare minimum. I'd like to do 60.